deal with it. We can treat it. We can do whatever we want with it. We add phosphate to it. It won't scale up and do its thing. But calcium and magnesium, if you heat that water, it'll drop out as a scale. It'll stick to hot surfaces. And if you've got a sheet of steel, you've got fire on this side, you're relying on the water on this side to continually keep that steel cool. And the flame will eat through that steel, and that's how you get a catastrophic failure on a boiler. It blows up because you can't cool that steel. That's why scaling is such a dangerous thing in boilers. You can take that heat away, it'll burn through. Not today, not tomorrow, but in some other distant near future, it'll burn through. So when the deaerator needs water, just a small transfer pump. The deaerator calls, the level control on the deaerator calls for water, and it pumps over to the deaerator. Okay? Now, it is real fun. Oh, I walk into a lot of doors here.
Oh. Ah, it's nice and cool in here.
Yeah.
They got the AC on.
Okay, this is a water treatment room, and the heart of any water plant or a steam plant is water. You cannot operate without water. You cannot make steam unless you have some very carefully controlled water. Now, we're pretty fortunate. Our water coming to us is city water. It's already filtered. It's already treated, which is a good thing. So I mean, it's a very simple looking setup. But if you're out in Smutsville, Alberta, running the SAGD plant where you're going through, 30, 40 cubes of water in an hour. By the way, what's a cube? When I'm saying a cube, how much water is that? 1,000 liters to a cubic meter of water, yeah. So I mean, they go through boatloads of water. So in a thermal operation, I mean, the biggest job of a power engineer is water treatment, because that's their biggest thing. You run out of water, you're shutting down, you're not going very far. And they're pulling groundwater, river water, wherever they can get water from. So their water treatment and filtering systems is huge compared to what we have. As I say, ours is already pre-filtered, pre-treated. So water coming in, we've got sodium zeolite softener, just softener A, softener B. It just, as one's regenning, it just operates the other one, and then it puts the other one into service just back and forth, so it always has a tower that's ready to go. So that's where we take our sodium and magnesium out of the water and replace it with sodium salt, right? Our water coming to us has chlorine in it, which you wouldn't find out in the field. So we inject a chlorine scavenger, sodium bisulfite is what it is, and it gets injected right into the water stream, and it will then scavenge all the chlorine out of it before it gets into the RO unit, which is right here, because the chlorine will eat these reverse osmosis membranes like lickety split, and they're kind of pricey. So the chlorine scavenger is there.
It works that fast though, hey?
Yeah, you just all you need is about much lime, and it just does its thing.
Interesting. Wow.
And it doesn't take a lot. So I mean, we're always testing just behind it for the amount of free chlorine that's left, and if there's any amount, we just jack up the pump, things like that. These are our chemical injection pumps. So remember, I talked about the deaerator and how the deaerator removes oxygen, but if there's any oxygen left, we chemically treat it. So this here is what we call the chemical mouthful name is SureGuard. What it is an oxygen scavenger. But it gets pumped from here, follow the stainless steel lines, and it goes all the way. So we're pushing sulfite all the way to the oxygen scavenger. So what the students are doing with the chemical behind you is they're taking samples of deaerated water and they're measuring for a trace amount of SureGuard in there.
Oh, yeah.
If you can see SureGuard in the water, generally means you got no oxygen. If you can't see SureGuard, probably got oxygen in your water. And all we're looking for is 1 to 1.2 ppm of SureGuard. You just need to see it in the water, that's it. Phosphate also gets injected all the way over to the deaerator. Phosphate it handles the sodium that's in the water, all that particulate. It gets it to sludge together without sticking against hot surfaces, and we just blow it out in a sludge form. You don't even see it. This is your amine. This is your condensate treatment. Again, goes into the deaerator. It gets boiled off with the steam. It's the only chemical that carries the steam as a vapor. And when the steam collapses back to a condensate, then it does its job there. These three chemical pumps are related to cooling tower. Two of them are biocide. Pretty warm water. We just spray it over the tube. It's nice and warm. And of course, the birds fly over. There's dust in the air. So this is just to kill whatever might start growing in that sump tank. And testing and chemicals. So our students are basically in charge or responsible for the water treatment, and they test everything from alkalinity. Do I have a blank sheet here that I can show you? So basically that's their typical water testing lab. So they're testing everything from alkalinity, M-alkalinity, which they calculate their OH. We're testing for phosphate. We're looking for 30 to 60 ppm of phosphate in the water. We're checking for pH. Boilers are before RO, after RO, condensate tanks. Conductivity is a measure of how much crap is in your water, total dissolved solids. And it's just how much electrical current that your water will carry. And conductivity is a good sign of how much you have to blow down. These are organized in order of importance. So you would want to attend to this. If you're out of range, you'd want to attend to this. If this is okay, then okay, this is the next most important, but this here is the most important. SureGuard, we only test for SureGuard in the deaerator because that's where the deox removes the oxygen right there. You're checking for hardness all the way. You're always measuring hardness. You're checking for iron. You don't want to see any iron in your water. If you do see iron, what's happening? Rust. Corrosion. Metal, and of course, if it's buried in the water, you can pick that up. Free chlorine, of course, is only for the RO that we're keeping there. So that's a typical water treatment. And of course, these are all the reagents for hardness, alkalinity, SG1, SG2, SG3. That's to measure SureGuard. We use these colorimeters, whatever you want to call them. I can never say it. But basically, you put reagents in your water, and it'll turn the water different colors. And what this does, it shines a light through it, and then it tells you what ppm is going on in your water. But it's all based on color, is what it is. These are just little reagent packs. We use liquid sulfite as a wet layup for our boilers, so we're measuring for that. But yeah, everything's all nice and neat right here. And that, so as the water comes out of the aerator, and then as the deaerator level calls for it, then the water just comes through the deaerator. It gets heated, chemicals in it, and then as the boiler calls for water, your feed water pump turns into the boiler, and then your boiler steams it, and it goes to do its work. Gets back into condensate, goes to your condensate tank, back to your deaerator. Pretty simple thing to say.
Oh.
It is mud.